If you are an independent artist and you are looking to have a long-lasting career or build a gigantic career, then selling your soul is probably one of the biggest fears. Now, recently I ran a poll in the YouTube community, and this wasn't the biggest answer. It was really fear of failure, and I'll have to do a video on that later. And I didn't plan to do this video, but I felt that I needed to address it because I've noticed the signs in my own career growth before, and I exited and pivoted. So if you want to keep your soul in place, I know it's a sensitive topic, but we're going to jump into that coming up right here on the Music Money Makeover Show. The first way that your soul can leave your body, if you will, and be given to somebody else is from fortune. Check it out. With fortune, you don't want to sacrifice yourself for money. We all need money to survive in this industry. Many of us crave it due to current financial struggles or past hardships. Let that sink in. Whether it was from childhood, from not having it, or whatever, let it sink in. Those with wealth in this game recognize the desire and aim to cater to your needs while turning a profit. They possess the money and resources to propel your career, but remember, plants grown too quickly often lack flavor. So you want to develop a mindset to acquire the necessary funds for your career growth without compromising your integrity. Always keep in mind, never approach a negotiation table when you're desperate or hungry for that matter. So I've said many times on this channel, when I was making music, I came from this standpoint. I wanted the money, not necessarily the fame. I mean, fame would be great, but I really wanted the money because there were things that I felt was missing from my past, or I just wanted to be able to have a cool job in the music industry. So I started making the tracks and doing engineering for money for the sake of being cool and having money for being cool too. And then as I began to grow and rise in that, people can always sense when you need the money because you start doing any and everything to learn, to get on. And once they start seeing you working overtime and extra hard to get on, they start to take advantage of that if you don't peep what's going on. So, and you all have seen this through my letters, when you sign up for my email list, you begin to see those letters come in. That's what that story is really about. That's the motive behind that backstory and how it happened. But a lot of times it stems from, like I said, a lack thereof, a lack of having something. And once you show the tenacity and the work ethic that you will make it happen for this, then people will come in and take advantage of that. So you don't want to give it up for money, because when you do, it's like they're going to attach the least amount, but the most amount of opportunity to it. Or they're going to attach a lot of money with a huge upside, a promise of a huge upside, and it's going to look so good you're going to take it. But that upside is going to cost so much more. Whatever the upside is on the money that you get right here, it costs way more than the money that they lured you in with. And that's where you got to give it up, because when you got in right here, there were pacts and contracts and things involved with that attached you to the potential opportunity. See where I'm going with this? Now let's go to the second way. The second way is fame. Do not sacrifice yourself for notoriety. Fame is ego-driven. It's an ego-driven pursuit. Often, check this out, often stemming from feelings of being overlooked in childhood or current insignificance. Right? You might feel small and belittled right now, so you want fame to make up for it. It's addictive. Once you start chasing it, you might sacrifice anything to attain it, even trampling others in your path to get it. Powers that be understand the desire once again and cater to it, but at a steep price. Ultimately, notoriety without purpose is hollow. Find your reason for seeking fame. If you pursue it blindly, you risk losing ownership of your assets and being discarded by those who helped you rise. Much like a junkie, no longer useful to their dealer. So again, for me, like right along with the money that I wanted to get, the fame part, like it's hard working for money. Yes, it is. You got to do the physical labor. But that fame part is like a phantom thing you can't see. But once it starts out of acknowledgement, people start to acknowledge you. And that sucker feels so good when people acknowledge you, that when you don't get the acknowledgement, you get a little bit depressed behind that. But when you do get that acknowledgement, man, it's like, man, I'm on top of the world. And this can float you even when you don't have the money. It can keep you on a high even when you don't have the money. And when you lose out to the vapors, word to Biz Markie, rest in peace, when you lose out on the vapors, you ain't gonna be able to get no more money because you had sold it all for the fame. Your contract in was for air, for something that wasn't even real. You see what I'm saying? And you have to keep going on that to fight the pain of you actually not having the money. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, this is the second way that it goes. Like I'm talking about, and it feels good, man. It feels good to the mind, to the brain when you get it, but you can't go that way. You got to remain humble. Not humble in your aspects of working hard and getting to the goals that you want to achieve, not so that you don't get your money, but humble for the fact that, yeah, it's cool and all to have that, but I want to have my fame and notoriety because of the purpose that I have and not to have it alone so I feel like I'm noticed. That's what people harp on. Let's go to the third way. The third way is freedom. Do not sacrifice yourself for power. Freedom is elusive. People seek it because they believe it will liberate them from past troubles or grant them desired power. This pursuit often stems from feeling powerless and unimportant for too long. However, true free dominion doesn't exist. There are universal laws on this karmic planet, not set by man, but by the universal creator itself, which prevent anyone from becoming the master of it all. As you chase freedom or power alone, you'll find that life remains challenging and people may dislike you more than you'd like. In this pursuit, you risk becoming the villain in your own story. So with power comes great courage, comes great force, right? And you seek to rule over tasks, items, but more importantly, people, right? And so this could mean that you are the master of your own ship or your bus. You're the captain and you know how to do it well. And so it feels good for you to manage all the people on your bus. So much so that you will go get more money and more notoriety so you can feel more power to have all these people behind you. And you normally notice this with a lot of artists that have a huge entourage, right? If those people in the entourage don't have real purpose for being there and they're just there, then this person is ego tripping on power. You see what I'm saying? And if that power can stay up, you will sell out to the power. Again, powers that be know this. And if you begin to do that, then people will not like you. Because watch this, when the money runs out for the power and you don't have because remember, you're generating power, but you have fuel for your generator. And when they take that fuel away, all the people that you were there saying, hey, I'm with you, man, because you were ruling over them, they won't like you anymore. And then you're going to have to fight them. That's what power does. And you don't want to go down that route. So really all of this stems from an inner thing that you have to work on with yourself. All of these pieces. What does my past have to do with what I want? Your past has everything to do with what you want. As people, we always desire to grow and become better versions of ourselves for the things we lacked in our past. And we feel that if we add the missing piece or pieces, we will somehow become better people. However, it's only your reasoning for needing what's missing that makes your growth valid. You got to add purpose to needing the money. You got to add purpose to needing the notoriety. You got to add purpose to needing the power. Because if you were trying to fill a void for yourself, it is selfish, and the music becomes selfish. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we're in a service-based thing. Yes, the music will get you to the point that you want to be at, but it's got to have a purpose behind it. You see what I'm saying? In order to keep the ego at bay, to keep the necessary desire for high amounts of finances at bay, and keep the necessary desire for powers at bay, just attach a purpose to it. Why do you want it? Why are you making the music? Oh, I'm making music for love. No, you're making music for purpose. That's really what you're doing it for. Because if you're making music for love, then you're in your basement. It never really gets released. You're having fun. It's like playing video games. At the end of the day, you get off work, you make some music. You don't really care about releasing it. The minute you release it, you got to have purpose behind that, because if you don't, you're going to succumb to one of these three ways. Why do the powers that be take advantage of artists? Don't hate the player, hate the game. They aren't taking advantage. You've either paid their price or are willing to. Your desires for fame, fortune, and freedom come with attached vices. And never reveal your vices. They're like a master key to your soul. People can always use them to lure you in. Don't hate the player, man. Hate the game. They got the source that you want. That's the source that they sell. You got a price that you want to pay for it, and this is their price. If you can't afford their price, don't go get it from them. And if you have to take a loan to afford their price, you're in the worst boat ever, because that's how they get it. If you can afford the price, you ain't got to sell nothing. And if their price is too high and you don't agree with it, you can walk away. But this means you can't come to the deal table hungry. Well, what are vices? Vices are relief actions or substances you use to help your mind escape reality. And if you can capture someone's mind, you can capture their soul. And this is why I value independence. I value independence. It's a long road, but if you do it right, it can work for you. That's why I tell people to get into my 60-day record label course. I know this was a very spiritual video, you know, and it's like, man, why are you selling product? But I'm always selling product. You know this. That's why you're watching the video. All right. So if you want to build that record label or publishing company fast within 60 days or less so you can stay independent or at least rise pretty high in your career, jump into the 60-day record label course beneath this video right now. Today, you'll gain the abilities to get the funding for these companies. You'll prevent yourself from getting screwed contractually because you'll learn how to read it. And then on top of that, you'll keep the middleman out of your pockets of the cash flow that you need to receive international and domestically for your record and your publishing royalties. Then you can decide if that price to pay for those 3 items I talked about today is worth it. And if this seems a little bit skeptical to you, grab my free guide, 10 Major Steps to Increase Your Record Label's Profits. A free split sheet is included with that download, plus a mini course that explains more of the 60-day record label. Okay, but let's look at the upside of this. Staying on the independent course not only adds more street accolades to your career, but also grants you greater freedom, money, and fame, providing you with everything you truly need without the overwhelming stress that often accompanies excessive celebrity. It does. I mean, because you're going to get that celebrity anyway. But if you had to earn that celebrity, chances are the fame ego trip ain't going to be too high. Like you're going to love it. You're going to love the love. But you already going to know that it's a little bit of that because we got a lot of we worked really hard to get here. We didn't sell out, meaning we didn't, I don't really want to say it, but we didn't lose ourselves to for the algorithm. We didn't sell ourselves for the price that it took to get that. We worked for the price that it took to get that. That's the upside. So we get to enjoy it. It feels a whole lot better. But the downside is this: aiming high and getting it now. I want it now. I need my fame now. I need my money now. I need the power right now, because that's gonna make me big, and people are gonna love me, and I'm gonna love myself. Love doesn't come from outside, it comes from inside. And aiming high and getting it now will put you in a position that may seem great at first, but you'll soon begin to hate it. Survivor's remorse will kick in, the chips will start to fall, and you'll have to find new groups of people to grow with quickly, because all your older friends won't be able to hang with you. They won't be able to hang with you because of the massive amounts of growth that happen right there, right? So whereas you may lose friends along the timeline in your life because you've been growing slowly, right? And it's just a natural process. When it happens at one time, they fall off really, really fast. And you got to get new friends to help you that you don't know, that are all there, hungry, seeking the same thing that you were seeking. And that's what you got to deal with. So therefore, if you will worry about selling yourself to the music industry, you now know the 3 ways that the industry will harp on it. Just naturally, it will harp on it. All right. Music money makers, if you make music, you should always make money. Log on to musicmoneymakeover.com, jump into the 60-day record label course beneath this video, grab the free stuff below beneath this video, smash the like button, book a call on musicmoneymakeover.com, and I'll see you next time. Peace.